Hello, I'm Jacob, and you are watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today, I am here to show you a new release from my upstart knife company, Exodus Knife and Tool. Now, you guys might not know this, but I am a history nerd. The knife that you see in front of you that we'll be producing is dubbed the French Foreign Legion. The reason for that is this guy right here. This is a British Remington-made P13 bayonet, which was modified sometime after the 50s for use by the French Foreign Legion. Now, in about the 50s, France imported tens, if not hundreds of thousands of World War I American-manufactured bayonets, and they took the 17.5-inch blade and they cut it down to 7.5 inches approximately. They did so quite crudely, as you will notice on this original example. But these knives were used all over the world in countless conflicts up until very modern history by the French Foreign Legion, and I caught wind of this actually through a Netflix movie, The Siege of Jardinsville. And so when I saw the French Foreign Legion soldier who was embedded with local national militants with a handle that I was very familiar with and a short scabbard, I started researching, because that's what I do. I like knives and I like history. And when I started finding out how prolifically used this knife has been throughout the world and how almost nobody knew about it, I really wanted to bring a reproduction copy to the market. You may be aware, I'm sure you're aware, of the popularity of the Mark II K-bar fighting knife and the history behind it, and it is still used today. And when companies want to make a fighting knife, they typically pattern it off of the Mark II fighting knife. The French Foreign Legion modified bayonet has a few advantages over the Mark II, however, with the longer blade length that is at 7 inches, which is important for some very specific military fighting knife tasks, and it is a full tang. We did make some changes from the original. Obviously, the pommel is not solid metal with the removed guts from being a bayonet. So we just went with black micarta, and instead of wood, we went with natural micarta, which are basic longevity and hard use upgrades from the original. We also brought the edge back further, as you can see here, to make it perform fine tasks a little bit better, and we put a little choil in there. I had considered getting rid of the back of the guard altogether, but I believe it's not only historically relevant, but actually still quite comfortable to use choked up. And I believe we're going to keep it on there. This production model is made by Mineral Mountain Hatchet Works. This pre-production prototype is a 1/4 inch thick 5160. We could change that to 3/16 inch thick. Like the original, the spine is rounded, not square. We are still considering going with a square spine, but we might keep it this way because it is comfortable for use and choking up and doing a lot of other things. And the swedge here is square, so you can still use that to strike your ferro rod. And the other major difference between the reproduction French Foreign Legion by Exodus Knife and Tool and the original is the fuller. The fuller obviously goes all the way through the original, because originally the blade was 17.5 inches long and they just kind of crudely hacked it down to 7.5. This is a problem for strength. It's also kind of a square bottom fuller, which is a stress point. We don't want square edges if we can help it. So we did a round bottom fuller and stopped short of the edge of the blade for strength purposes. Other than that, it's a parkerized finish on 1/4 inch 5160, very traditional steel, incredibly tough steel. In hand, this knife balances right behind the guard, so it's very quick in hand. The design of the handle makes it very easy to change your grips quickly. It's very easy to index to know which way is front without looking, which way is the front of the blade. And overall, this is just going to be an incredible fighting and survival knife. And that was the intent of myself and Exodus Knife and Tool. I'll have a lot more information on this knife coming up soon. I'm sure that I won't have all of the final production kinks worked out for probably a few weeks to a month. But I'll let you guys know when we open this up for sale. It most likely will be going up for pre-order. And if I had to guess at the manufacturer price with a Kydex sheath, I would guess around $300. So I'll have more information to follow. If you want to keep up on how the project is going, follow me on Instagram at Exodus Knife and Tool or the Preppers Bunker Outdoors, and also on Facebook at Exodus Knife and Tool. I'll be bouncing ideas back and forth with Mineral Mountain Hatchet Works, and I'll also be carrying and beating the snot out of this knife, and most likely working with Grizzly Outdoors on a custom Kydex sheath that pays homage to the original. This project is so exciting. I can't believe that I'm the first person who's wanted to take such an absolutely iconic fighting knife and reproduce it, but I equally can't believe that nobody knows about it. So I thank the Lord that He illuminated this design for me, brought it to my attention, and I just can't wait to get this sucker in your guys' hands. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Share this video with your knife nerd friends. And man, I'm telling you, I'm just excited to get to it and to talk to you in the comment section below. So I hope that you have a blessed day.